Hi there, let me ask you something. Have you ever been around a woman and felt like there was something in the air? Like she liked you, but didn't say it out loud? Maybe you caught her looking at you differently. Maybe her energy shifted when you entered the room. Maybe she laughed just a little too hard at something you said. You felt it, but you couldn't prove it. Well, maybe she did say it, just not with her words. Here's what most men don't understand. Women communicate attraction in a completely different language. While men tend to be direct, I like you or I don't, women speak in subtleties, hints, and energy shifts that most men completely miss. This isn't because women are trying to be confusing or manipulative. It's evolutionary psychology at work. For thousands of years, women had to be selective about who they showed interest to because the consequences of choosing wrong were severe. So they developed a sophisticated system of indirect communication, a way to express interest while maintaining plausible deniability. Welcome to the dark side of female psychology. Today, I'm going to reveal the subtle, unspoken signs women show when they're into you, the ones they never say out loud, but desperately want you to notice. These aren't just theories. These are patterns backed by evolutionary psychology, neuroscience, and years of real-world observation. Once you understand this hidden language, you'll never miss another signal again. And trust me, once you know them, you'll never look at her the same way again. But here's the catch. Most men are completely blind to these signals. They're waiting for her to make it obvious, to spell it out clearly. But that's not how the female mind works. She wants you to be intuitive enough, emotionally intelligent enough, to pick up on her subtle cues. The men who get this, they're the ones women chase. The men who don't, they're the ones wondering why they're always just friends. Let's begin. 1. She mentions other men. But not for the reason you think. When a woman talks about other men around you, her ex, her coworker, a guy friend, she's not always trying to make you jealous. Here's what's really happening. Sometimes she's testing your reaction. To see, does he see me as more than just a friend? Is he going to compete or retreat? Does he care enough to feel something when I mention another man? It's not a trap, it's a mirror. And the way you react tells her if you're man enough to claim your space. But here's the psychological depth most men miss. When she mentions other men, pay attention to how she mentions them. If she's into you, she'll often bring them up in a way that positions you as superior. My ex never understood this, but I feel like you would. This guy at work is so annoying, but you're actually funny when you tease me. My friend keeps telling me to date this guy, but honestly, I prefer talking to you. She's not just mentioning other men, she's using them as a measuring stick to show you that you measure up. It's her way of saying, I've considered other options, but you're different, without actually saying it. The mistake most men make, they either get jealous and reactive, or they completely ignore it. The right response? A calm confidence that says, I'm not threatened because I know my value. 2. Her voice gets softer, just for you. You might not notice it, but her voice actually changes. Science shows women speak in a slightly higher pitch around men they find attractive. It's an unconscious attempt to sound more feminine, more appealing. But there's more. If she leans in and speaks softer, almost making you lean in too, that's not shyness. It's a seductive power move. She's drawing you in, without even touching you. Here's the deeper psychology. When a woman lowers her voice and speaks more softly, she's creating intimacy. She's making you work to hear her, which forces you to pay closer attention, to lean in, to enter her personal space. But watch for this pattern. Does she speak normally with everyone else, but her voice changes with you? That's the tell. I've seen women who are loud and boisterous with their friends, but around the man they're interested in, they become almost whisper soft. It's not fake, it's instinctual. Her body is trying to create a private bubble between you and her, even in a crowded room. There's also the laugh-whisper combination. She'll laugh at something you said, then lean in close and whisper a response. That physical closeness, that shared secret moment, It's all designed to make you feel special, chosen. 3. She touches her neck or lips while listening. This is primal. When a woman exposes her neck or touches her lips while you speak, it's not random. It's vulnerability. It's sensuality. And it's often unconscious. The neck is one of the most vulnerable parts of the human body. In the animal kingdom, exposing your neck to a potential mate is a sign of trust and submission. When she touches her neck while talking to you, she's unconsciously signaling that she feels safe with you. But the lips? That's pure sexuality leaking through. Touching her lips while you speak is her body's way of drawing attention to one of her most sensual features. She's not trying to seduce you on purpose, at least not consciously, but her body is speaking louder than her mouth ever will. Watch for the combination: neck touch plus lip touch plus maintained eye contact. That's the trinity of unconscious attraction signals. Her body is essentially saying, I trust you, I'm attracted to you, and I want you to notice. Here's what most men miss: the timing. She doesn't do this randomly throughout the conversation. She does it when you're saying something she finds particularly attractive, when you're being confident, when you're telling a story that showcases your personality, when you're being vulnerably authentic. 4. She accidentally mirrors your body language. Mirroring is one of the most instinctual signs of attraction. If she crosses her legs when you do, tilts her head when you do, touches her face right after you touch yours, she's subconsciously syncing with you. Her body is telling you, we're in rhythm. I feel safe. I feel seen. But here's the advanced level of this signal. She doesn't just mirror your movements. She mirrors your energy. If you're calm and relaxed, she becomes calm and relaxed. If you lean back, she leans back. If you speak more slowly, she starts speaking more slowly. It's like she's unconsciously trying to match your frequency. This goes beyond simple mimicry. It's energetic synchronization. Her nervous system is literally trying to sync with yours because she feels a connection. Watch for micro-mirroring too. The way she holds her drink after you pick up yours. How she adjusts her posture when you adjust yours. The way she starts using similar hand gestures to yours as the conversation progresses. The psychological principle here is called isopraxism, the unconscious tendency to imitate the postures, mannerisms, and behaviors of people we like or want to bond with. When a woman is mirroring you, she's essentially saying, I want to be on the same wavelength as you. 5. She asks you about things no one else notices, like, why do you always smile like that? Or, you always wear that ring. Is there a story behind it? I noticed you get quiet when certain songs play. What are you thinking about? When a woman is interested in you, she becomes curious. Not just about what you do, but about who you are, the little things, the details no one else picks up. That's not casual conversation. That's emotional investment. Here's what's happening psychologically. When someone is attracted to you, they become hyper-aware of your patterns, your quirks, your subtle behaviors. She's been watching you more closely than you realize. But more importantly, she's asking these questions because she wants to understand your inner world. She's not satisfied with surface-level conversation. She wants to know what makes you tick, what your stories are, what experiences shaped you. This is a woman who's imagining a future with you. She's collecting information, not just for now, but for later. She's building a mental file of who you are because she's considering you as more than just a casual acquaintance. Pay attention to the specificity of her questions. Generic questions like, what do you do for work, are small talk. Specific observations like, you always look out the window when you're thinking, what do you see out there, are signs of deep interest. 6. She laughs, even when you're not that funny. This one's gold. Her laughter isn't about the joke. It's about you. Studies show women laugh more around men they're attracted to. It's a bonding mechanism. It's her saying, I like being around you. Even if your joke was, let's say, average. But here's the deeper layer. The quality of her laughter tells you everything. Is it polite laughter? Short, controlled, socially appropriate? That's just being nice. But if her laughter is genuine, if it's the kind that makes her throw her head back, cover her mouth, or even snort a little, that's attraction laughter. That's her guard coming down, her authentic self showing up. Watch for the lingering smile after she stops laughing. If she's still smiling at you seconds after the joke is over, looking at you with bright eyes and genuine warmth, she's not thinking about the joke anymore. She's thinking about you. There's also the proximity laughter, when she laughs and instinctively moves closer to you, maybe touches your arm or shoulder. That's her body using laughter as an excuse to create physical contact. And here's the ultimate test. Does she laugh at your jokes when other people don't? If you make a comment that falls flat with everyone else, but she's still giggling, that's not about your comedic timing. That's about her being tuned into your frequency in a way others aren't. 7. She gets awkward around you, but cool with others. If she's confident with everyone, but around you, she gets a little clumsy, fidgets with her jewelry, stumbles over her words. That's nervous energy, but it's also excitement. Her mind is racing. What does he think of me? Did I say the wrong thing? Do I look okay? That's not disinterest. That's pressure. The kind she only feels when she wants to be seen in the best light. This contradiction is key. Confident everywhere else, but nervous around you. It means you matter to her in a way others don't. Watch for these specific nervous behaviors. Playing with her hair excessively, fidgeting with jewelry, especially necklaces or earrings. Stumbling over words she normally says perfectly. Dropping things or being unusually clumsy. Speaking faster than normal, then catching herself and slowing down. Here's the psychology. When we're around someone we're attracted to, our nervous system gets activated. The sympathetic nervous system kicks in, the same system responsible for fight or flight responses. But instead of running from danger, she's dealing with the danger of potential rejection or embarrassment. The beautiful irony, her nervousness around you is actually a compliment. It means you have the power to affect her emotional state in a way that other men don't. 8. She finds reasons to be near you, even briefly. Ever notice she shows up where you are? Walks past you, even if she doesn't need to? Maybe she forgets something just to circle back. Or asks you for help with something trivial that she could easily handle herself. Women don't waste effort on men they don't care about. If she's creating proximity, she wants connection. This is what psychologists call manufactured coincidences. She's engineering opportunities to be around you without making it obvious that she's doing it intentionally. Watch for these patterns. She suddenly needs to use the bathroom every time you get up to go somewhere. She remembers she needs to ask you something right as you're about to leave. She volunteers for projects or activities she knows you'll be involved in. She shows up at places you mentioned you'd be, then acts surprised to see you. Here's the deeper psychology. Physical proximity creates emotional intimacy. Every time she's near you, she's hoping for a moment, a shared glance, a brief conversation, an accidental touch. She's collecting these micro-interactions like puzzle pieces, building a connection, one small moment at a time. The dead giveaway? If she seems to have a lot of urgent but non-critical things she needs your help with. She's not asking because she can't handle it herself. She's asking because it gives her a reason to interact with you. 9. She remembers things you barely mentioned. Oh, you said you liked Ethiopian food, right? You have a meeting next Friday. Hope it goes well. How did your sister's wedding planning go? You mentioned she was stressed about the flowers. Wait, you mentioned that once. Barely. In passing. Weeks ago. That's the point. Women remember what matters to them. If she's holding on to your words, she's emotionally invested, and probably more into you than she's ready to admit. This is what psychologists call selective attention and memory. When someone is attracted to you, their brain automatically flags information about you as important. They're not consciously trying to memorize details about your life. Their subconscious is doing it automatically. But here's what makes this signal even more powerful. She's not just remembering, she's following up. She's checking in on things you mentioned. She's showing that she was not only listening in the moment, but thinking about you after the conversation ended. This follow-up behavior is crucial because it shows investment beyond the immediate interaction. She's carrying pieces of your life with her, thinking about your experiences, caring about your outcomes. Compare this to how she interacts with other men. Does she remember and follow up on details from their lives with the same consistency? Probably not. 10. She compliments your masculinity. Indirectly. You always seem so calm. You walk like you own the room. I feel safe when you're around. You have such strong hands. These aren't just compliments. They're desires, leaking out through language. She's not just noticing you. She's admiring you and hoping you'll notice her in return. Here's the psychological insight. When a woman compliments your masculine qualities, she's revealing what she finds attractive about you. But more than that, she's hoping you'll step into those qualities more fully. She's not just observing your confidence, she's encouraging it. She's not just noticing your strength, she's celebrating it. She's essentially saying, "This is what I want in a man, and I see it in you." Watch for compliments that focus on your presence and energy. You have such a calming presence. Your physicality. You have a great laugh. Or, "I love your voice." Your character. You're so genuine. Or, "You make me feel comfortable." Your confidence. You always know what to say. Or, "You handle things so well." These aren't random observations. They're her way of telling you what she finds attractive, without directly saying, "I'm attracted to you." 11. She gets playfully annoyed over small things. You're so stubborn. I can't believe you think that's better than pineapple pizza. You're impossible to argue with. That playful teasing, it's flirtation wearing a mask. It's safe conflict, a way to create spark without risking too much. If she's emotionally invested enough to mock you, she's emotionally invested. Period. Here's the psychology. Playful conflict creates emotional arousal. When she argues with you about trivial things, she's creating tension and release, push and pull, the fundamental dynamics of sexual attraction. But notice the tone. This isn't real annoyance or genuine frustration. It's theatrical, exaggerated, playful. She's performing being annoyed because it gives her an excuse to engage with you emotionally. Watch for these signs that her annoyance is actually flirtation. She's smiling while she's complaining. Her body language is open and engaged, not closed off. She continues the argument longer than necessary. She brings up the same annoying things about you repeatedly. Other people can clearly see she's not actually upset. This kind of playful conflict also serves another purpose. It creates inside jokes and shared experiences between you two. Every time she brings up how stubborn you are, she's referencing a shared moment, a private understanding between you. 12. She looks at you, then quickly looks away. This is one of the most powerful signs. When a woman is attracted, she'll often look, then glance away the moment you catch her. Why? Because the eyes give away everything. That quick look, then look away. It's her desire showing up before her caution can stop it. But here's the advanced reading of this signal. Pay attention to what happens after she looks away. Does she smile to herself after looking away? Touch her face or hair? Glance back again within a few seconds? Look down, submission, or to the side, thinking. Each of these follow-up behaviors tells you something different about her level of interest and comfort. The smile after looking away, that's her enjoying the moment of connection. The hair touch, that's nervous preening behavior. The quick glance back, that's checking to see if you're still looking at her. The downward look, that's submission and attraction. Here's what most men miss. The context of when these looks happen. She's not randomly staring at you throughout the day. These looks happen during specific moments. When you're not paying attention to her, she feels safe to look. When you're talking to someone else, slight jealousy, competition. When you're doing something she finds attractive, laughing, being confident, helping someone. Right after you've made eye contact and she's processing the moment. The psychology behind it all, why women communicate this way. Now you know the signs, but here's the truth most men never understand. Women rarely say it directly. Not because they don't want you to know, but because they want you to notice. There's a deeper psychological reason for this indirect communication style. For women, being seen and understood without having to explicitly spell everything out is incredibly attractive. It suggests emotional intelligence, social awareness, and the kind of intuitive understanding that indicates long-term compatibility. When you pick up on her subtle signals, you're demonstrating that you're paying attention, that you care enough to notice the details, and that you understand the unspoken language of attraction. This makes you different from the majority of men who are oblivious to these cues. The biological imperative. From an evolutionary perspective, this indirect communication served a crucial survival function. Women who were too direct about their interest risked attracting the wrong kind of attention or making themselves vulnerable to men who might not be suitable long-term partners. Instead, they developed a sophisticated system of signals that allowed them to express interest while maintaining the ability to deny it if necessary. This gave them control over the pace and progression of relationships. But here's the modern twist. Even though we don't face the same survival pressures, these communication patterns are still hardwired into female psychology. Understanding them gives you a massive advantage in reading female interest accurately. What this means for you: if you've made it this far, you're already ahead of 95% of men. Most guys are waiting for women to be as direct as men typically are. They're missing all these subtle signals and then wondering why they're always surprised when women lose interest or friendzone them. But now you have the decoder ring. You can read the signs that most men completely miss. You can see interest before she's ready to admit it to herself. More importantly, you can respond appropriately. When you notice these signals, you don't have to call them out directly. You can simply escalate appropriately. Be a little more flirtatious. Create a little more intimacy. Show a little more interest in return. The key is calibration. Match her level of subtlety. If she's being indirect, you can be indirect too. If she's ramping up the signals, you can ramp up your response. Final thoughts. Remember this above all. These signals aren't conscious manipulations or games. They're natural expressions of female attraction psychology. When you see them, appreciate them for what they are. A woman's way of saying, "I'm interested," in the language she feels most comfortable using. And if you've made it this far, you're one of the few men who will. The women in your life are probably already showing you some of these signs. Now you'll notice them. Now you'll understand what they mean. Now you can respond in a way that creates deeper connection and attraction. So if you liked this video, go ahead. Click that like button, subscribe, and share it with a friend who needs to hear the truth. And don't stop here. Check out the other videos on this channel for more raw, eye-opening insight into the female mind, desire, and modern masculinity. Because understanding women isn't about playing games or manipulation. It's about becoming fluent in the language of human connection. It's about developing the emotional intelligence to read the signals that matter. Thanks for watching, and remember, sometimes what's not said speaks the loudest. But now you're listening.